Hello, my name is Dr. Shannon Weiss. I'm an assistant professor at Downstate Health Sciences University in Brooklyn, New York. I'll be talking to you today about a recent publication in Brain Communications entitled Fast Ripples Reflect Increased Excitability that Primes Epileptiform Spikes. Spikes are of primary importance in the diagnosis of epilepsy, but also disrupt cognition, and may in some cases promote the development of spontaneous seizures. Epileptiform spikes and their underlying neurocorrelates are not uniform. Moreover, spikes propagate as traveling waves. High-frequency oscillations are also considered biomarkers of epileptogenic brain. High-frequency oscillations are subcategorized as fast ripples and ripples. Like spikes, fast ripples recorded by macroelectrodes do not generally occur in healthy brain tissue. But unlike spikes, fast ripples are thought to better predict the development of chronic seizures and better identify the epileptogenic zone. The physiologic counterpart to fast ripples are ripples that play a role in normal brain function. However, in patients with epilepsy, ripples are generated at increased rates in and around the epileptogenic zone. High-frequency oscillations can occur superimposed on the background EEG or superimposed on an intracranial epileptiform spike. Recently, we reported that fast ripples can spatially propagate in epileptogenic regions, and notably, propagation increased the probability a fast ripple was immediately followed by a spike. To better understand and possibly establish a causal link between fast ripple events and aftergoing spike probability, we investigated the neuronal and network activity associated with fast ripple and ripple events in patients with medically refractory epilepsy undergoing pre-surgical evaluation using paired macroelectrode and microelectrode implants. We first observed a correlation between the spectral power or size of the fast ripple recorded on the macroelectrode and the increase in the action potential rate recorded by the microelectrodes. We then compared fast ripple that preceded spikes within 300 milliseconds with fast ripples that occurred alone. We found that the neuronal firing rate during the fast ripple preceding spikes was greater than the solitary fast ripple. The cause driving this effect was that the spectral power of the fast ripple preceding spikes was greater than the solitary fast ripple. We next asked if the intracranial epileptiform spikes, which followed fast ripples within 300 milliseconds, would show changes in excitability as compared to solitary HFO epileptiform spikes that occur alone. We found that when HFO epileptiform spikes in the intracranial EEG were preceded by a fast ripple, the firing rate recorded by the microelectrodes during the HFO epileptiform spike was decreased, shown in green in panels B and E, relative to the solitary HFO epileptiform spikes shown in black. This suggests that inhibitory restraint prevents spike initiation following a fast ripple. If fast ripples prime or trigger epileptiform spikes, then they should occur more often than the spikes themselves. We found that fast ripples occurred more frequently than spikes with superimposed fast ripple, but less frequently than spikes with superimposed ripples. Also, the fast ripple should precede the spikes more often than chance. To test this, we used bootstrapping statistical methods and found that fast ripples precede spikes more often than chance in the clinically defined seizure onset zone, but not in the non-seizure onset zone. Moreover, fast ripples preceding spikes with superimposed fast ripple showed the strongest significance. Thus, spikes with superimposed fast ripple are likely first generated in the spike initiation zone. Furthermore, ripples preceded spikes less than chance, so ripples likely don't prime or initiate spikes. Then, in a distinct cohort of 23 patients who underwent resections, we asked if fast ripples preceding spikes occurred in the seizure onset zone. We also asked if resection of the regions generating fast ripple preceding spikes correlated with seizure freedom. We found that fast ripples preceding spikes were found in the seizure onset zone at a much higher proportion than solitary fast ripple. However, resection of the regions generating fast ripple preceding spikes did not correlate with seizure freedom. One explanation may be that fast ripples are not a strong biomarker of epileptogenic tissue. To test this, we used a novel spatial graph theoretical measure of residual active fast ripple territory. This measure showed that non-seizure-free patients had significantly greater residual active fast ripple generating territory, indicating that seizures may be generated in an epileptogenic zone distinct from the spike initiation zone. In summary, we found that fast ripples prime epileptiform spikes in a spike initiation zone that strongly overlaps with a seizure onset zone. The fast ripples that prime spikes are associated with more excitability. The spikes primed by the fast ripples are restrained by inhibition. Since spike priming occurs in epileptogenic regions, but not all epileptogenic regions generate spikes, we conclude epileptogenic tissue is necessary but not sufficient for spike initiation.